Hi everyone, welcome back to Paranormal AF. Today I have a pretty interesting story for you guys. So I joined some Facebook groups where people share their paranormal experiences, sometimes videos or photos, and I ended up finding somebody who had a Ouija board experience. So I ended up messaging her and asking her if she was willing to share her story, and she was super nice and said yes. So we got on a call and she pretty much told me everything that happened. So yeah, this is her story and hope you enjoy it.
Hello.
Hi,
Hey.
how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you so much. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, of course.
I guess you can just, go ahead and tell me how it started and everything.
So this happened about 2015. Me and my girlfriend at the time, we broke up. Very traumatic. And about 2 months later, she had passed away. Well, she unalived herself near my house. And it was to the point where, like, my stepfather was giving her CPR. And unfortunately, she did not make it. And so that was very, very traumatic for me.
Right.
And so a few weeks later, I go to my friend's house, and out of nowhere, she's like, let's do a Ouija board. And so we got a pizza box, and we just made our own Ouija board. And out of this pizza box. And at first I was a bit skeptical because I was just like, we're using a shot glass and we just made this Ouija board.
Yeah.
There's just no way that this will actually work. Well, it did.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I will never forget it.
Because I was imagining, I thought you would have like an actual board, but out of a pizza box, that's crazy.
Yeah, and so that I think that's what makes it worse, because it's like something was definitely like ready to come out. So we're doing the pizza box, and what we would do is, sorry, my heart's like pounding because I like literally had to run back in from letting my dog out before it rained.
Yeah, all good, no worries.
So, like I said, at first I was like, nothing's gonna happen. But it was just like a very weird feeling, because it was 3 of us, and we had this little shot glass, like a regular shot glass. And when the shot glass was moving, it was like kind of spinning underneath our fingers. And when, like, if it was one of us, like, moving it by ourselves, the glass would like spin, and you would see their fingers kind of like spin with it.
Right.
But it wasn't doing that, and it creeped us out. So how we like communicated with people, like how we figured out who was trying to speak to us, is we would go, okay, how many people are here with us? Like, first we would like move the glass around the board and then say how many people are with us, and it would go to like the number, and we would say, okay, who are you here for? And we would do like the initials, A for me, E for my friend Emily, or S for my friend Summer. And when the point that I realized that this was for real was, it went to my name, it went to my initial, and I was like, are you family? And it said no. And I was like, okay, so you're a friend. And I was like, okay, well, like, who are you? And it went to like JP or something like that. And I was like, JP, like, who the heck is JP? And later on, like, we said goodbye like a few minutes later or something, because her dog was like going nuts.
Oh, wow.
Trying to get in the room and stuff. And I texted my uncle real quick, and I'm like, JP, that name sounds so familiar. Come to find out, JP was best friends with my uncle when I was like 8 years old.
Oh.
And my friends did not know JP. He passed away because of drinking and driving, and I was living in a completely different city prior to. So I'm like, oh shit, like, they would have not known that.
Right, exactly.
And also, like, whenever I asked, like, which relative were you friends with, because I was like, I don't know JP, it went to R, and my uncle's name is Rob.
Wow.
And so that's when I was like, okay, this is not like a joke or anything. Like, this is, I'm actually talking to people who my family have lost.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, minutes go by, we're doing the board and stuff, and there are people, and my friends, you know, loved ones are coming over. And then finally my ex comes, Alyssa. And this is when shit gets real. Whenever, like, a different loved one came, you can tell, like, what entity was, like, directing the shot glass, because there were some that were, like, really sharp in their movements, like, to go to different letters. Other ones were just, like, very slow and kind of, like, did squiggles.
Interesting.
But when Alyssa came, she would do full circle around the board and into the letter. And that's how we knew, okay, like, it's switching up, whatever. And so when she came up, I was like, I mean, it felt like time just froze.
Yeah.
And I was talking to her and whatever, and, like, my friend Emily, she knew her, so she was kind of like, you know, oh my God, this is, like, crazy. And we were just talking, and it was weird because, like, in between our breakup, Alyssa dated someone else for, like, I think, like, 2 weeks or something before she passed away. And I had a lot of resentment towards that girl because I was just like, you know, what in the world happened for her to do what she did?
Right.
And so there was points where Alyssa advised me to, like, beat up her ex.
Whoa.
And, like, kill her and stuff. And I'm like, damn, like, this is, like, some hard stuff right here.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, like, I mean, I don't know, like, to me, I was just like, you know, I was as mad as, you know, Alyssa. I believe that was Alyssa. You know?
Yeah.
And so later on, like, there was a lot of ruckus, and my friend Summer was like, I need to, like, leave real quick. And I was like, dude, do not say goodbye, or do not leave without saying goodbye. And she asked the board, like, oh, like, is it okay if I leave without saying goodbye? And it went to yes. And it was like advising some weird stuff, and red flags were flying everywhere.
Yeah.
And so later at night, we were just, like, researching about Ouija boards and stuff, and come to find out, it was saying that, like, if something advises you to hurt someone or leave without saying goodbye, or that you can do it by yourself, that you know, it's not a good entity. And I'm like, great, because all 3 of those boxes check off.
Yeah.
That just happened.
Oh man.
And so then the second day, because it was like a weekend, we were hanging out at Emily's. So the second night, you know, I was just really addicted to, like, talking to Alyssa, but we were a little bit more cautious about it. And so I started asking just, like, other questions and stuff. And again, like, we could always tell if it was Alyssa, because it would just, you know, go super slow around the board and then get to the letter. And next letter, you know, to spell what it was trying to spell out. And I forgot the question I asked, but it went in a circle on the board a couple of times, and then out of nowhere it went to Z, X, like, it was going backwards on the alphabet very sharply. And we were like, what is going on? So, like, we had to, like, we pushed the shot glass back in the middle, and we were like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. How do we?
You know, we went from going slow and copacetic to, like, this sharp, just, like, going backwards on the board. And after that, we were just like, goodbye. and looked it up and kind of find out that's like a way for it to like open the board without our permission, kind of.
Whoa.
And I was like, that is not good, because that happened like twice. And I was like, you know, once the second time happened, I was like, yeah, we need to hop off real quick. Like,
Yeah.
that is not normal. And so eventually we were like, okay, we're going to take a second from this, because that's not cool.
Yeah,
and actually that night it was really creepy, because it just like, I don't know, it just didn't, the environment didn't feel right that night. But so third night, we did it again, and you know, everything was fine or whatever, and Alyssa came back on. And the night before, I looked up and it was saying that like entities will pretend to be a loved one because it knows you're vulnerable.
Got it.
With that specific person. And I was like, you know, how you can tell is if you ask a personal question. I was like, okay, I'm gonna ask a personal question that only me and Alyssa knew. So I asked, you know, we did the whole, how many people are here? Who are you here for? And, you know, it was Alyssa again. And I was like, Alyssa, like, I just have a quick question. I was like, what was the nickname you gave me when, you know, we were dating? And it goes in a circle, and I was like, I'll give you a hint. It starts with an L. And then it just like, the circle started getting like a bit quicker, and then it went right back to the Z, going backwards. And my friend Emily like looked at me and she was like, is this safe? Because like, I mean, it was kind of like a defining moment for all three of us. At this entire time we have not been talking to Alyssa.
Yeah.
And she like looks at us and she's like, is this safe? And then it went straight to no and then goodbye.
Whoa.
And that was the last time we touched it. And my friend Emily and Summer, they discarded it. But after that, I think about a week or 2 weeks after, I started experiencing sleep paralysis. And it was, I've never experienced sleep paralysis prior to, but this was at my house. And that's still to this day really creeps me out, because it was a dream of Alyssa, and it felt like the realest, like, I truly felt like she, like, from wherever she was speaking to me. And it was a dark room, it was just me and her, and out of nowhere she just says like, I'm sorry, and then she vanishes, and I see this faceless figure just staring at me. Like, it was creepiest thing. And then that's when I experienced sleep paralysis, and I was laying on my stomach, and like when you have sleep paralysis, like you can open your eyes but you can't talk,
right?
You can't move, and it felt like something was pushing down on me. And I had my eyes open and I was looking, like I could see my bedroom, and that figure was just like in my freaking room.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And so that I don't know what came from that board, but I mean, I experienced sleep paralysis like 2 other times in the same thing. I saw Alyssa first, and then that thing would come, and it was almost as if it like disguised itself as Alyssa to get into my dream. And then when it's there, that's when it just like, I don't know, like caused my body to panic.
Yeah.
Wake me up before my body was even ready to wake up.
And would you usually just wake up on your own, or was it after you had like a struggle with it?
Like, what do you...
Because I know sometimes with people who have sleep paralysis, like they're trying to fight it. They're like, I was trying to scream, I was trying to move, and then they kind of just snap out of it. Was it the same for you, or you just kind of let it roll out and then it just stopped?
So like the first few times that I struggled, and like when I finally realized what it was, like I think the third time I tried screaming for my mom, And the fact that nothing was coming out of my mouth, even though like I was using all my might to just say mom, like that was the creepiest part. But I mean, eventually, like, I just learned to just not open my eyes.
Yeah.
and just wait till my body wakes up with me. Because, I don't want to see what's in front of me when I'm in that state.
Yeah, no, I do not blame you. I probably would do the same.
Yeah.
Dang. And so after this, did it kind of just slowly fade away, or are you still experiencing things?
It slowly faded away. Like, I staged my house. Like, it was pretty crazy. But I actually stayed at my parents' house a few weeks ago, and I just still got that chilling feeling of being at the house. And, but I don't know if it was something that like Alyssa had that then leached on to me, because when I was dating Alyssa and she would stay the night at my house, that's when I was starting to experience some paranormal stuff at my house. And then when she passed, it just felt like it kind of just started leeching onto me.
Got it. Dang.
Especially since she did it by my freaking house.
Yeah, no, I mean, I could see how that could just kind of go over to you afterwards. And did your friends ever experience anything on their own? Because I know they were kind of part of it.
I think my friend Emily said her house just like did not feel the same after. My friend Summer, she was visiting from like a different state. It wasn't like really my friend, it was Emily's friend.
Got it.
So I didn't really know like what all happened with her, but I know my friend Emily said that like it was just a very offsetting feeling in her house afterwards.
Yeah, no, I bet. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's good that like it's in the past now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, okay. And is that everything, or did you have something else, more bit of information? No worries if you don't.
I think that's really it. I mean, like, prior, like when I was dating Alyssa, like I had my phone thrown across the freaking room.
Whoa.
Like, and it was not me or her. I mean, we've had like doors slam, and I really think, like I said, I think that it was something that she had on her that then came on to me. But I think that's from all I can remember. But yeah, that was my experience with it.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's crazy. I always hear these stories, and I love hearing these stories. So thank you so much for sharing and taking the time to tell your story.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks for reaching.
Yeah, I also had one more question that I was just thought about. What pizza box was it? Like, whose company?
Oh my God. It was like, oh my God, it's that guy, Red Baron or something. Like, we cut it, like, and just like used the light brown part.
Yeah.
And it was just, I don't know how it works, but it did. And like, another like key thing that like I knew it wasn't like rigged or something. It's like there was like a ridge in the middle of the box or of the board, and like if one of us were pushing it, like the shot glass would have just like kind of toppled over.
Right.
Once it got over that ridge, but it never did. Like it literally felt like it was just floating.
Wow.
It was pretty intense, but
yeah.